Hey, what's going on, guys? Any Pride here with another replay commentary,
And this is Madness.
and we are doing the second replay commentary for the Shogun 2 subscriber night we did a couple weeks ago, and we are not going to go over the army setups for this one because there are 6 armies, and that would probably take 20 minutes, but I will go over the players on each team. I am Indie Pride. I am on the left flank on my side of Numazawa. In the middle here, holding down the fort, is Prince of Prussia. And on the right flank is RTK Boss Tycoon. And you can introduce your army and your players.
Yes, obviously. So I'm on the right, on my side, on my team, and I'm facing Indie Pride, which is going to be fun to watch, I think. On my left, in the center, we have Azrael, and on the extreme left, we have Majutsu from the Round Table Knights, facing his clanmate. So, as far as the army setup is concerned, I have pretty much the same build going on as last battle. No Dachi Core, meat shields, matchlocks, Yarisams, you know the deal. Melee gen, some Yarikav, and it's still the lower quality, larger quantity approach from the last battle, because it
Yeah.
did end up working out for me. But
Couple
yeah,
units that are important of note this battle. RTK
right,
Majutsu has a fire rocket, which is very devastating, actually, especially since the last patch, which was, I mean, months ago. But the last patch, or one of the last patches, made fire rockets actually viable again. So that's actually a pretty powerful unit. And Boss Tycoon, they have not been revealed yet, but he actually has 4 ninjas over on my side of the battle. I think they have 20. They have extremely high attack. I'm not sure if it was 21 or 29, but
yeah,
very,
there's
very high attack.
somewhere around these parts. But they're level 6 ninjas, and ninjas get 3 attack per upgrade. They have 4 attack upgrades, so plus retainers, so you can guess they're going to be quite devastating if you don't manage to counter them. And yeah, they can even kill cavalry.
And I also want to say that Bastakun brought Monomi Spy, which can be a dead giveaway. Well, it is a dead giveaway that you bring ninjas,
Right,
which is one thing that I wish CA had fixed a while ago, is that when you bring Monomi Spy, it shows up as a offensive retainer, which means the other players see it played against them because there's a debuff in sieges where I think it automatically opens the gates.
right.
And so that's kind of an issue, but I think he brought Monomi Spy so they even have higher attack, but I think we can press play on this replay right now and get into it.
Okay, so right at the beginning, I am not expecting a lot, aside from, yeah, I don't actually remember if he had Monomi Spy. It wouldn't surprise me, because it does give him a lot of boosts. 3 attack, 3 defense on 4 or 5 units you can bring, so that is quite a lot. And he also does have Walker Raiders,
Yes, he does.
level 6, I think. Yes, level 6. Joining up with the ninjas, who are going to take the farmhouse. And as soon as I realize what I'm facing here, Prince of Prussia is sending over 3 cav units to Indy's side, I am immediately scared out of my pants, because I am expecting to get wiped off the map very quickly. So yeah, at that point I was already saying, "Hey Maju, you're gonna beat 3 players this battle. Can you pull it off?" And he said yes. But yeah, the ninjas are going to go into my master contingent immediately, which is quite ballsy. I would expect them to get shot down if I had them in that position. I'm sending in some cav, but through what I've seen ninjas do before, I know my cav alone can't deal with them. They have 36 attack, now back to 31 because stealth has worn off. But yeah, that was a quick attack. My right flank is in disarray. I'm sending in a Nodachi to back up my Yarisam. And it's going to do a little bit, but Indy has Cav coming in as well, and it's gonna become a very chaotic battle very quickly, where I'm just struggling to get in the kind of units I need to hold them off long enough. Because right now I'm on my own, and I mean, I do have Azrael next to me, who does have the conscious mind you need to have in these kinds of battles. He does bring over a bunch of cav units, try to harass Indy, and support me. So I'm not going to be alone in this forever, but right now it's not looking all too good for me.
Yeah, the problem right now is that on Numazawa, being able to flank your opponent is extremely difficult. I mean, if you look at the positioning we have right now, it's a bottleneck. It's a complete bottleneck. Everything I do is going to be going directly into matchlock fire. Everything he does is going to be going into matchlock fire.
Right.
So, like, there's no way to flank. There's no way to really use my cav effectively here. I just have to try to keep his ninjas alive. And I do send in my cav a little bit late, and some of his ninjas do get taken out pretty early there.
Yeah.
And his Waka Raiders actually go down with only 68 kills, so it really isn't a great or organized attack at the moment. We kind of just had to attack straight up the middle there, and it's not really
Well,
beneficial to either of us.
So, and I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword if you think about it, because the way you attacked me and Boss attacked me with his ninjas, I didn't have time to prepare or, form a good line of defense against this attack. So I'm thrown into disarray immediately, but at the same time your attack is also slightly disorganized, and depending on what happens next, it could backfire. And yeah, what happens next is Maju sends in 3 cav units,
Look at Prince of Prussia's army though,
which
like
are
his
going
Yari
to hit
cav.
this unit here.
Yeah, like Maju sends in his cav, but look at Prince of Prussia's cavalry.
Right.
Like they're in a massive column, and they run directly into the back of my Nodachis with absolutely no charge bonus at all. So not only are they exposed to matchlock fire, where they're going to get absolutely no kills, but they didn't even get a charge off. So that's literally about 3,000 Koku worth of units.
Right.
They're level 5 Yari cav that are going to absolutely add nothing to this fight except numbers. And I believe he is going to try to pull them out of that and try to flank around, but again, there's really no way to flank. There are all these units that are just kind of compacted right into the middle of this battlefield, and it's really just going to be a melee grind, and unfortunately
Right.
Madness has the better position. Unfortunately for me, Madness has the better position because he has matchlocks that are able to actually fire into this,
Right.
while Azrael's Bowcav are able to take out my matchlocks from the back.
Luckily for me, I was able to pull out this Matchlock Sam unit, which is going to do a number on Boss's ninjas. I think it's already up to 84 kills. It's gonna go. I think it's gonna go up over 100. And yeah, ninjas can be taken out with cav and nodachis, but I think the most effective way is to use guns because they have such low numbers and high attack. And yeah, as you can see, that ninja unit here just pretty much disappeared in that volley, sending in a cav unit to finish him off. And yeah, this, I actually don't think I showed it, but this unit was on the verge of routing by the initial attack, so being able to pull that out pretty much secured that flank in this fight. And if I hadn't had this unit, I think I probably would have crumbled, because as you can see, I'm not outnumbering anybody. We have a bunch of blue, we have a bunch of yellow, and what else do I have left? I have one matchlock here, which is going to be attacked by this Yari Ash, and I think I'm going to go ahead and inspire my matchlock monk. Yes! So my matchlock monk is going to be able to defend against the Yari Ash in melee, which is somewhat hilarious. But overall, this is not over at all. And I think at this point it really pays off to have the kind of gen I have. He's at 9 men only, but you can see he's over 200 kills. He's routed in Nodachi, and now he's helped route this blob in the middle, so that might be the main reason. Not the main reason, but one of the main reasons I actually won in this setting. Because it was, as Andy said, it was pretty hard to actually go around and flank somebody.
Yeah.
And with the kind of position I had on this hill here, where, yeah, we just finished off that last Nodachi that followed up the Yariash, I was able to hold my own. But again, if my allies hadn't well, they didn't actually surround you, but they flanked you a little bit. They just generally helped me stem the tide of troops coming in long enough to actually use that position and win that flank. And yeah, Maju's fire rockets are doing their thing on his side, which I'm now switching over to because I'm done on mine.
And it was actually really funny because Boss Tycoon, like when we were playing that battle, they weren't really paying that much attention over to that side.
Yeah.
Like Boss and Maju both said, "Wow, Indy, you did a really bad job." Like, but if you look at the replay, like, yeah, no, I didn't play great. Like, but one, there was no way to flank my opponents at all. There was absolutely no space to maneuver my guys. And number two, like, we might have had a slight Koku advantage over on my side, but Prince of Prussia's cavalry really didn't get to do much. They ran directly into the
Right.
back of my no dashes with no charges, and there was the ninjas, but they ran into matchlock fire and cavalry as well. So like, it really wasn't. There wasn't that much we could do. Like, there was no way to maneuver. It was just kind of run directly in your opponent and see how well you
Right.
do, and it just didn't end up working out all that well. But we actually are going to go back and look over at the other side of the battle because there's something that's definitely worth mentioning on that side. So we're going to go back into the replay, and we'll see you in a minute. Alright, so here we are back in the replay. Again, we're going to be doing this from Boss Tycoon, Prince of Prussia's, Azrael's, and Majutsu side of the battle now, and their perspective, what happened on their side. But one thing I want to say is, yeah, I sure as hell did not play great in this battle. I made plenty of micro mistakes. Maybe the biggest issue I had was that when Boss sent his ninjas in, I was a little late sending in my cav, so they were kind of unsupported for a little bit there, and that definitely hurt us. But even though I lost my side of the battle and I could have played better, I think everybody on our team could have played better. There were plenty of issues, and so I think we'll see those as we go into this side of the replay as well. So I think we can press play on 3, 2, 1, go, and get into this. So Boss Tycoon has about 4,000 Koku worth of units over on, maybe not 4K, maybe like 3.5K worth of ninjas over on the. Actually, even
4
that might
ninjas
be
and a
too much.
Walker Raider. That's
Yeah, 4
over
ninjas and a
4
Walker Raider.
Over
Yeah.
4K.
Well, it depends how heavily upgraded the ninjas are, but
All
yeah.
level 6. All
Okay,
level
level
6.
6. Alright,
That's a
so
bunch.
yeah, 4K. But he's got the 4K of units over there, and then on his side he's got the 3 matchlocks and a bunch of cav and some Yari samurai backing up. So what he's gonna do at the beginning of this battle, I assume that he did not see Majutsu's fire rocket at the start, but he's gonna send all of his cav forward, really bunched up with his cav here. So, I mean, obviously I assume that he did not want to attack with his cav. He's just baiting Maju and slowing
Yeah.
him down, but
And I
he's
think
going to take
He
a
was
fire
also,
rocket. Huge right here. Huge rocket volley. And so he's going to end up losing half of his Yari cav in one unit, all of his Yari cav in another, or all of his light cav in another.
and he's gonna
Super
eat a
bunched
charge.
up, and 3 of his cavalry units are already wavering at the start of this battle. So, not the start he wanted for sure.
Yeah.
He just lost all of his cavalry. Wow.
Almost all of his cavalry. Yeah, his gen is still wavering, not shattering, or breaking, and he still has a Yari cav that's also wavering. But yeah, I think he kind of lost sight of that. He was probably looking at his ninjas or Wakos,
Yeah. No, I'm
trying
sure
to
that's
micro
exactly
them.
what was happening. Yeah, he was microing his ninjas, and he lost track
Because
of
you
his cav.
can avoid being hit by fire rockets when you have cav. You can just run them away, and you're not gonna lose a lot of men. But yeah, he was probably distracted, which I think is well, it is the reason why I never do this. I never spread out so much because I know I can't always control the units as well as I would have liked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why we actually do better than expected, on my side at least, because Boss isn't always paying attention. He can't always be paying attention.
I mean, Boss Tycoon has absolutely great micro skills, but
Of course,
again,
yes.
yeah, people make mistakes, and he just lost 3K worth of cavalry in
Yes.
about the first 5 seconds of the battle. So, I mean, it happens. And that's going to be a big deal, because even though, again, using cavalry on this kind of choke pointy kind of map like Numazawa is going to be difficult, keeping that alive at late game is pretty important. And Maju now has a range advantage with those fire rockets that are going to get absolute devastating volleys into both Prince of Prussia and Boss Tycoon. And his fire rockets are actually already up to 100 kills, like a minute into this battle. So the morale penalty is going on Prince of Prussia's lines with all these range units attacking and the fire rockets coming in is going to be a big deal. And of course, Maju has the better position with his matchlocks. I mean, look at how good his positioning is. He's at the edge of these woods here with those matchlocks on top of the hill, and he's got free shots off with his bows and those fire rockets. And Prince of Prussia is having a pretty disorganized attack right now. He's gonna go in with his no dachis, but really they're not really spread out to give the charge bonus all across the line. They're kind of clumped up, and he's really kind of unsupported by Boss at the moment. Boss hasn't moved up his matchlocks yet because I assume he's again focusing on the ninjas on the other side. But I mean, Maju's fire rockets are literally the difference in this battle right now. They've done so much damage to both armies. It's ridiculous. Unsupported Prince Prussia is not going to be able to break through both. Like, it's Azrael's and Maju's almost full armies.
Right.
He just does not have the melee troops that can cut through all that.
Azrael does have a bunch of units on my side, and Maju's Cavs just returning from what they did to your sword units. But I don't actually know who to put the blame on. Like, I think attacking so quickly, I mean, with the fire rockets, it's understandable why he would do that. But attacking this position, and with the Yari Ash out of Spear Wall, and eating Matchlock Fire, I don't know if that was a very good attack, and if he I don't know if he should have committed so early.
I don't know that he should have attacked so early, but I don't know what choice he had with the fire rockets, and with how grouped up he was. He kind of had to force an attack there, and Boss Tycoon doesn't have an army that's designed to enter melee combat at the moment. He put a lot of his attack power over on my side of the battle, and so with the matchlocks that he has and the Yari Samurai, he can do lots of skirmishing. He can still do lots of damage. The problem is he doesn't have the range advantage, so all those matchlocks are kind of a point.
Yeah,
I just saw that volley.
Cav just ate one more volley from the fire rocket. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what should he have expected to go into Numazawa? I mean, Numazawa normally is a very skirmish-friendly map, so I don't think it's
in a
wrong
1v1
to use
setting.
an army like that.
I don't know that it's a great skirmish map for a 3v3. There just isn't enough room to maneuver.
Well, yeah, actually, as we are watching it pulled out right now, it is not necessarily a great skirmish map in a team match. Depends on who's got the fire rocket, maybe.
Now, I think if Prince of Prussia had brought exactly, whoever has the fire rocket wins the day on Numazawa. No, but I think if Prince of Prussia had brought a
skirmish
heavy army, they might have been in a much better position. I mean, if you look, like, the map itself does lend itself well to skirmishing. If you look at what Boss Tycoon is doing now, he's going to the top of the hill, like, surrounded by woods. I mean, that's an absolutely great position to skirmish at.
With what he has, it's the right thing to do, but I think this might have been decided at the beginning.
It was. The army
battle.
composition's absolutely,
Because Boss is preparing to kite back to the hill here and defend from there, which is a very good idea, but when it's not working cooperatively with your teammates, and your teammate attacks because that's the army he has to attack unless he, just wants to be shot all day to support his teammate, then of course, no matter what you choose, you're going to have at least one army which is not doing what it was intended to do. So they were in a bit of a pickle right at the beginning, and I mean, with Boss eating those volleys from fire rockets, those 2 volleys, and eating a charge in the beginning, and just losing too much cav right away, I think it was pretty hard to actually get out of this situation. Like, the only way would have been to win from my perspective, the right flank, or your left flank. But yeah, as we just saw, it didn't end up working out like that, and that team ended up losing on all fronts.
Indeed. We will see you on the stat screen in a minute. Alright, welcome back to the stat screen. So, I got a lot of crap when we were playing this game on the subscriber game night. We had Maju and Boss and like some other people in the Skype call with us, and I got a lot of crap for losing my side. Like, they were just saying that I did really bad, and yeah, it's true. Like, I I didn't do anywhere near as well as I would have liked. But I think looking at it from Boss's and Prince of Prussia's perspective as well, and Maj's perspective, like, there were definitely other issues there at work than just how well I did on my side. Like, the first thing that Boss did was a huge micro mistake that lost him all his cavalry. So, like, there were plenty of issues that were at work besides how well I played on my side. I think, honestly, the biggest issue was not Boss losing his cav or me not working as well with his ninjas or reinforcing them like I should have. I think the biggest issue was just army composition. If you look at the start of the battle, Prince of Prussia didn't have a bad army setup, but it wasn't great at anything. It had a bow warrior monk, so it kind of had a skirmish element to it, but it's not great at skirmishing, especially not when the other team has a fire rocket.
Yes.
Which means it's outranged.
Though he
and
didn't
he had a rush army, so he
expect
ran
it.
in. Yeah, he ran in unsupported, so Boss didn't have a rush army, so he couldn't run in because he would mass route as well.
Right.
So he skirmished, and Prince of Prussia was unsupported. So there were plenty of issues at work. Overall, though, I think it was actually a really good learning experience, and I thought it was still a very interesting game. I love Numazawa. Like, if you know me, you know that I love that map. And it was just one of those games where we weren't able to put onto our opponents or use our strategies that we wanted to, and it just didn't work out that well. But it was still a really fun game. Really enjoyed it, and again, want to thank everybody who did show up to the subscriber game night. Thank you very much. Really appreciated it. Really appreciate the support.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go show you the unit stats real quick. We're not gonna go over them in detail. But yeah, I just wanna repeat what Indy just said. Thank you all for showing up, if you did. And thank you all for watching. Maybe we'll do another if there is a demand for it. There is an option to do Fall of the Samurai and Medieval 2, I think.
Absolutely.
But, well, there's no guarantee, but there is the option to do it, so keep that in mind. If you feel like doing that, just hit us up, and if we get enough messages, comments, whatever, we might do a second event.
And we'll be doing a better job advertising for it the next time.
Yes, we will. So, keep looking out for that if you're interested, and thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.